Alright, what you can see here is a voltage regulator that I came up with um, that's going to be able to transform 12 volt battery to any battery voltage we want at the output. The input of this device will take up to, I think, about 50 volts. Obviously, for our purposes, we're only going to be using 12 volt battery or 14 volt from the alternator bus. Feed it into the circuit, and we want to be able to come up with a variable voltage out on the back, and we're not quite sure exactly what we want. I'm going to have to eventually test the pitot heat hooked up to this setup to decide exactly what a good voltage is or isn't. Now, these all the components on this breadboard are rated up to 3 amps. 3 amps is more than enough to heat up the pitot tube element. As a matter of fact, when I ran 3.3 amps into the pitot tube element, it went up to about 300 degrees. So that's plenty of heat. We definitely want to keep it below 3 amps. So this circuit should be operating just fine for those purposes. So what I'm going to do now, I will connect the positive lead to the battery. The batteries I have right now is just two 9-volt batteries in series. So we got about 18 volts in to this device. When I connect the lead, you'll see the green light come on, and that is just at the entrance of the circuit, so it just tells us that we have power. The red light is at the output, and it'll be bright red right now because I have this potentiometer set to maximum voltage. So maximum voltage in this case I will be able to read, it will be 18 volts. As I reduce the resistance with the potentiometer, you probably will see this light possibly even go out. It doesn't mean that it's not working. I just have to adjust the value of this resistance. It's just something that I am laying around. But you'll still be able to see the voltage go down, and I think with this setup it goes down to about 1.5 volts, something like that. So let's look it up and see how this thing works. Alright, so there's a green light, that means power's on. Here's the red light, means we have a voltage out. As you can see, you're pretty close to 18 volts. And I'll start cranking this down, and you'll see the voltage start to drop. And eventually, even you see the little red light, it just starts going out. Well, we're still registering about 1.2 volts, so it's just not enough to turn this LED on. I'm going to have to change this resistance value just so that it doesn't quite fade on us. But you can see we can regulate it fairly easily, just about any voltage we want. And with this setup, we'll be able to hook it up, hook two thicker leads to the pitot tube, and we'll be able to meter exactly how much voltage we want to it, and as a result of that, meter how much temperature output in the heating element there will be, and as a result, obviously, how hot the pitot tube becomes or not. And that's the end of this test.